Okay, so here's this week's question. What is the future of air travel? Now, this is a pretty good question, and it's fairly relevant in this day and age. It's true that airline tickets are available to more people than they ever were before, but it's also true that, especially in recent years, the price of these tickets has gone up and up and up, and seems set to do so in the future. Now, are we going to live in a world where we have even cheaper, widespread air travel, or are we going to live in a world where there are fewer and fewer airline services available for fewer and fewer people? There are two ways to look at this, and we're going to start with the most pessimistic way first. So here we go. Pessimistic version. The future for air travel is bad, and it's bad because of fossil fuel. Unlike cars, unlike trains, right now the only viable technology we have to power aircraft is fossil fuel based. And what that means is that when there is a more expensive price point for fossil fuel, airline tickets also go up. Now, unless we can find a way to stabilize the price of oil, this market trend seems set to continue, and it is quite possible, if not plausible, at least possible, that within the next few decades, the price of fuel alone could mean that airline tickets become something that only wealthy people can afford, or that only a large state apparatus such as the armed forces could afford. Alright, so that's the really pessimistic view, the kind of darker dystopian view, if you will. Let's go for something more optimistic, right? Now remember we said that one of the main reasons airplane tickets will increase in price is because fuel itself will increase in price. But what if there's a different way to power aircraft? What if we could take what we've learned from electric cars or electric trains and move that to the skies? It sounds kind of science fiction-y, sure, but we're way closer than you might think. In fact, NASA and Google have recently partnered up in something called the Cafe Green Flight Challenge. And here's what they're doing. They've invited several different research teams to meet the challenge of building an electric aircraft that can carry passengers and can meet a couple more guidelines. And two of the most important guidelines here are that the craft these teams build have to be able to fly for 200 miles at least 100 miles an hour, and, now here's the catch, they can only use the energy equivalent of 1 gallon of fuel per passenger. So that means that if you have 2 people in an aircraft, it has to only use the equivalent of 2 gallons of fuel. And we're going to get even crazier on this because not one, but 2 teams successfully completed this challenge. A team called Pessimistic and a team called E-Genius from Germany have both built working craft that not only met these guidelines, but exceeded them. Now, of course, this is a far cry away from a commercially viable, huge 747 that runs on electricity alone. But the answer is out there. So that's where we're at now. Here's our big question. Are we going to be able to replace the conventional fossil fuels used to power aircraft? This is a question upon which much of the aircraft industry depends. And most analysts agree that fossil fuels are going to remain at best an unpredictable commodity in the future. We just don't know how to predict with any certainty the exact price of gas or of another fossil fuel in the future. So, whether or not we have convenient, widespread, affordable air travel in the future really depends on what we use to power the planes.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit HowStuffWorks.com. And don't forget to check out our other podcasts, free, on iTunes.